This is Tech Roundup, and today we're rounding up We're going to start out with sort of the main players in the gaming PC market, and then sort of go to some of the more fringe manufacturers like Cyber PowerPC and iBuyPower and manufacturers of that nature. So to start off, we're going to look at the Alienware Aurora. So this is sort of their mid-level gaming PC underneath the Area 51. And if we go down, I'm going to mainly stick to 8700K range, and then like 1070, 1080, or RTX 2070 range in terms of graphics cards. So we're going to take a look at the Alienware Aurora. We're going to customize this model with the 8700. So we're going to upgrade the 8700 to an 8700K. So then 8700K, a GTX 1070. Yeah, we'll keep it at a 1070. That's pretty mid-range. We can go for the 1080 for the extra $100. Mine as well. So with a 1080 and 8700K, let's upgrade our RAM to 3200 megahertz. A single 500 gigabyte M.2, and then we have to go liquid cooling for the 8700K due to its overclockability. And then that puts you at around $2,300 for sort of that mid to high range gaming PC from Dell. So it's relatively expensive. So you get the 8700K, a GTX 1080. Let's leave it at a GTX 1070 just for comparison's sake. So the GTX 1070 are at $2,174. Liquid cooled, all of that. Now we'll go over to HP. So HP's mid-level, high-level gaming PC is the Omen HP Obelisk. And then this is sort of that higher range of this model. So you get an 8700, so non-overclockable, non-K variant of that CPU. You get 16 gigs of only 2666 memory, so no ability to go up in memory there. You're sort of stuck with the CPU base memory clock. A GTX 1070, only 256 gigabyte M.2 with a 1 terabyte regular hard drive. And then see, what else do we get? Air cooling on the CPU. Because it's not a K version, they don't really push the liquid cooling on those non-K variant CPUs. So you have $1,600 for a really stepped down version of that Aurora. You don't get the K, same graphics card, so you get the 1070. We're stepping down in RAM. So originally that same RAM on Dell was was 175 less. So if we just sort of match these up right now, so we'll stick with an 8700 rather than K. Keep it at a GTX 1070. We'll go with 16 gigs of 2666. We'll do dual drive, so we'll do 256 and a 1 terabyte. So exactly the same build right now. Exactly the same build. And we'll knock off the liquid cooling because we don't need it with the non-K variant. So you're literally getting the exact same PC right now, and Dell is around $100 more. So exact same PC, $100 more. Now if we go to Asus, so we have the ROG Strix gaming desktop. This is one that they sell. It's temporarily sold out at $1,500. You get an 8700K, so now we're back up to that K variant, but we drop down to a 1060. We only get 8 gigs of RAM, 666, 8 gigabytes, 500-watt power supply, Windows 10 Home. So this is $14.99, so it's $100 cheaper. You're getting an 8700K, but you're dropping down to a 1060. So those pretty much offset, but you are dropping 8 gigs of RAM. So this one, I would say, is relatively similar to that HP. Similar price range category, so it's $100 cheaper, and you are dropping 8 gigs of RAM. So I would say that's reasonable. It's not too bad. Then if we go to Cyber PowerPC, now we're getting into sort of those fringe PC manufacturers. So if we look at this deal right now, originally $2,300, on sale for $1,649. Who knows if that's really just a way to get people to buy these things. Maybe list price should actually be $1,649. They're just trying to show a sale in order to pull in more buyers. You get an RTX 2070, so that's huge. A 9700K, another upgrade. I shouldn't say that. 9700K, 8700K. It's really, at that point, there's no hyper-threading with the 9700K, so you got 8 cores, 8 threads. 8700K, you got 6 cores, 12 threads. So, I mean, it really just depends how you look at it. 16 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz RAM, 240 SSD with 2 terabyte hard drive, and then the Asus ROG C390. It is water cooled because we're at that 9700K variant. So honestly, that is a super good deal for a computer if you're looking to buy one. And then if we go more towards those other PCs we were looking at, so you get an 8700K, a GTX 1070, you get 16 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz RAM, you get the MSI motherboard, and a 512 gigabyte M.2 with 3 terabyte hard drive. So we're stepping up in storage space. We are very similar in all other categories, and it's only $1,589. So right now it looks like this is the best PC out of the other 3, but with those other 3, you're paying for a name, you're paying for a manufacturer, so you know quality on those is going to be rather consistent, relatively good. With this, who really knows what you're going to get? You might get a really good product, you might not. We've seen reviews from a lot of other tech channels like Gamers Nexus, Linus Tech Tips, places or channels like that where they reviewed PowerPCs, and there's plenty of issues with those PCs. We are getting in Z370 motherboard, which is probably what you're getting with those Dell and HP and the Asus desktops as well. But nowadays you can get a Z390 for probably similar prices. If we go to PC Part Picker, I have done a pick, and this is it. So this is my build. We got an 8700K, the NZXT Kraken X62, which is 280 millimeter radiator. I replaced the Gigabyte Z390 Aorus Pro with a Asus ROG Strix Z390E Gaming, which is about a $70 upgrade in terms of motherboard. We also changed out the G-Skill Trident Z for some Corsair RGB Pro. Same specs, still 3200 megahertz. It's pretty much the same RAM, it's just appearance preference, I guess. This Samsung, so we're dropping that down from the Pro to a Evo Plus. We got the EVGA, which is, I just put that in there as a placeholder. So I went with an RTX 2060, which has already been tested extensively and has been shown to be better than a 1070 Ti and right under a 1080, even beats out a 1080 in certain games. An NZXT H500i. So, I mean, case appearance wise, you're stuck with the case they give you in terms of what you want to buy. So if you like the appearance of that case, that's awesome. But if you don't, you can customize your case to whatever you want when you're building your own PC. A gold certified 750 watt power supply, which is more than any of those other PCs. Most of those are 500 watt power supplies. Probably don't need a 750 watt power supply, but just might as well have it. Windows Pro or Windows 10 Home. Windows 10 Home is like $100 for an OEM key. Windows 10 Pro is like $125 for an OEM key. And then there's also those fringe sites like Kingwin, where you can get like a $30 Windows Pro OEM key. So I mean, it really depends what you're looking at. I was going to get this Wi-Fi adapter until I realized, until I changed some of the parts. So the Asus ROG motherboard already has Wi-Fi. So Strix Z390 Gaming. That's the one. And let's get rid of this. Perfect. So this is pretty much our build now. And it comes in at $1,731. So around $1,700. My build, I've gotten some deals on some of the components, like the CPU was $329 at Micro Center in a deal with the Strix Z390. So right there, right now, it's supposed to be like a $600 combination. I got it for $540, so I saved $60 there. So that already brings us down to around my bad, that brings us down to like $1,670. I'm not going to go with this, so it's $40 savings on the storage, because we're just going to go with a regular 970 Evo Plus, which is literally the exact same price as a 970 Evo. It's $129.99. So that saves us money right there. So right now we're at like, with that savings on the CPU and the motherboard, we're at like $1,630, which is right in range with these other ones, and we're getting a much better computer. We're getting the 8700K, we're getting 3200 megahertz RAM, we're getting a way better motherboard that's in any of those systems. We're getting a 280mm CPU cooler, an RTX 2060, which pretty much beats out all of the graphics cards that we were looking at. They were all 1070s, 1060s. iBuyPower and Cyber PowerPC did have some relatively advanced graphics cards in terms of what they were putting out there for the price. So if you're looking to buy one of those fringe manufacturer PCs, then yeah, those have really good components in terms of CPU and GPU. And the case customization, for me, the NZXT H500i is a super clean case. It's modern, it's got no curved edges. It's that PC that I was looking for. So the ability to customize is super huge. And I mean, if you get rid of this OEM key, because there's places where you can get it, we're down to like $1,500 altogether. So we're right in range with those for a way better performing PC. So if you don't want to go the way of manufacturer PCs, you can build your own. It's super easy. It's not that hard. There's plenty of tutorials out there. I'll be putting out my own tutorial when I build that PC. So you might as well, if you're willing to take the risk, and then you have the ability to also spread out your purchases. You're not buying it all at once. You can spread it out, wait till you have money for certain components, wait till you sort of research all your components, and then put it together yourself. You can cherry pick exactly what you want, whereas you can't do that with any of these other manufactured gaming desktops. So from what I could see, I would recommend, if you're not going to build your own PC, if you trust the quality of a Cyber PowerPC or an iBuyPower, the components for the price, you might as well go with one of those. If you're going for a name brand PC, so the Omen, the Alienware, pretty much with the same statistics as the Omen Obelisk, you might as well go Omen, because it's $100 cheaper and you're getting the same performance and you're getting the same parts. One's HP and one's Dell. But you do have the ability to customize on Dell a little bit. So for that, I would say go Dell if you don't like that exact configuration. So yeah, that's this first episode of Tech Roundup in the mid-range, high-range gaming PC area. I hope you liked the video. If you have ideas for other sort of roundups that you want to look at, whether it's cell phones, monitors, TVs, speakers, whatever you want to look at, comment below, like the video, comment on if you bought a PC, which one you went with, or if you built it yourself, what components did you go with and how much did it cost. Just give everybody a better understanding of why you made your decision to either buy or build. So again, I hope you liked the video. If you did, leave it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting a lot more of this series and a bunch of videos in terms of like PC builds. We got this one coming up with the RTX 2060 and the 8700K. So If you like what you've seen so far, if you like this Tech Roundup series, subscribe so you can keep up and keep watching.